She believed he was degrading her blind daughter. In fury, she dismissed him immediately, but only afterward did she uncover that the custodian had noticed something no physician ever had. If the story touched your heart, show your love, like, share, and comment your thoughts. Have you ever condemned someone in a single instant, only to subsequently realize that the very action you criticized was the one reason your existence didn't crumble? Catherine Reynolds never forgot the day she dismissed the school custodian. She believed she was safeguarding her blind daughter, but in reality, she was rejecting the only person who perceived what no one else could. Catherine's existence had been molded by sacrifice. Ever since her husband deserted her, she had shouldered the complete burden of raising 9-year-old Lily alone. Lily was born with a rare ocular disease, and by the time she reached 6, her vision had nearly disappeared. Now she inhabited a realm of darkness, navigating more through sound, scent, and sensation than by sight. To Catherine, defending Lily was not merely an obligation. It was her entire reason for being. Every day presented a struggle. Parents of healthy children might stress about test scores or untidy bedrooms. But Catherine stressed about staircases, sidewalk edges, merciless mockery in the schoolyard, and the devastating dread that her daughter would mature believing she was inferior to others. Catherine's devotion to Lily was intense, but beneath that devotion lived weariness and resentment toward a society that wasn't designed for children like hers. One Thursday, Catherine arrived late to collect Lily from music club. She rushed down the hallway, her heels clicking, heart racing with remorse. When she arrived at the room, the scene before her paralyzed her in position. Lily sat on a chair while Robert Hayes, the custodian, knelt before her. He was a reserved man in faded coveralls, graying hair receding at the top, a slight limp in his gait, and hands weathered by years of toil. Most individuals at school scarcely acknowledged him, but at that instant he was holding a compact flashlight, directing its beam carefully into Lily's eyes. "What are you doing?" Catherine's voice split like thunder. Robert flinched, lowering the light. Lily stiffened. I believed I noticed something peculiar in her eyes," Robert stammered quietly. "The way they responded to illumination." "You had no authority," Catherine snapped, rushing forward and drawing Lily close. "She's blind. Do you comprehend how heartless that is? To direct a light at her as if she's some laboratory subject." Robert's shoulders dropped. "I was merely attempting—" "You're dismissed," Catherine interrupted him, shaking with rage. "I'll contact the principal tomorrow. Don't approach my daughter again." Robert didn't protest. He simply placed the flashlight down, nodded once, and departed, his limp more evident than usual. Lily whispered, "Mom, he wasn't being cruel." But Catherine's voice fractured. "Sweetheart, some individuals don't comprehend. I won't permit anyone to harm you." That evening, as Lily slept, Catherine replayed the custodian's expression in her thoughts. There had been no malice there, just urgency, almost desperation. Still, her fury drowned out the uncertainty. The following morning, she proceeded directly to Principal Harrison. "That custodian, Robert Hayes, he directed a flashlight in my daughter's face. Terminate him." Principal Harrison hesitated. "Robert has served here 20 years. Are you certain he intended harm?" "I don't care," Catherine insisted. "He violated a boundary." And with that, Robert lost his position. For a week, existence continued. Catherine immersed herself in work, meals, bedtime routines, but unease gnawed at her. Then one Friday evening, Lily came home disturbed. "Mom," she whispered, "today in class, I perceived something. A shimmer, like light, just for an instant. I'm not inventing it. Catherine froze. Her daughter hadn't seen anything distinctly in years. Are you certain, Lily? Yes, she said resolutely. It was genuine. That night, Catherine remained awake researching online. She discovered something astonishing. Children with Lily's condition sometimes maintained partial response to illumination. Frequently, it was overlooked, presumed to be total blindness. But if detected early, treatments could preserve or even restore fragments of vision. Her heart accelerated. Could Robert have been correct? Guilt struck her like a tidal wave. She had deprived him of his employment, his dignity, when he may have been the sole person to observe what even physicians had missed. The next morning, she drove to the address documented in his file. Robert's house was modest, weather-beaten, its garden unkempt. When he opened the door, surprise flickered across his exhausted eyes. "Mrs. Reynolds," he said quietly. "Please," Catherine blurted, her voice quivering. "I was mistaken about everything. You noticed something in Lily's eyes, didn't you?" Robert hesitated, then nodded. "I've witnessed it before, with my daughter." Catherine's breath halted. "You had a daughter? She had the identical disease?" He murmured, his voice shaking. "The doctors informed us it was hopeless. But sometimes when light contacted her eyes, I saw a reaction. I pleaded with them to investigate deeper, but it was too late. She passed away at 11. His eyes glistened. "When I saw your girl, I couldn't stand by. I believed maybe she still had a chance." Catherine's tears fell freely now. "And I expelled you." Robert shook his head gently. "You were protecting her. Any parent would have." "No," Catherine said firmly. "You cared when no one else did. Please come with us. Help me fight for Lily." For a moment, Robert's weathered face softened. "If you'll have me, yes." The following week, they visited a specialist. Lily sat in the darkened examination room, nervous fingers twisting her sleeves. The doctor directed beams of light in different directions. "She's responding," he said slowly. "Not substantially, but enough. If we commence therapy immediately, we may preserve what remains, perhaps even enhance it." Catherine's chest heaved with relief. She gripped Robert's hand tightly, gratitude radiating from her eyes. For the first time in years, hope didn't feel like a cruel illusion. Over the months that followed, Robert became part of their journey. He transported them to appointments, encouraged Lily, shared stories of resilience. Catherine watched as her daughter flourished under the warmth of his presence. He wasn't just a custodian anymore. He was family. And though Lily's vision never returned fully, she regained enough to sense outlines, colors, the gentle glow of sunlight. She once whispered to her mother, "I can see your shape, Mom. You look like love." At Lily's next school concert, she stood on stage, her cane at her side, her small voice steady as she sang. Catherine sat in the front row, tears streaming, while Robert sat beside her, pride shining through his tired eyes. Catherine thought back to that day in the music room, the day she had judged him as nothing more than a custodian with a flashlight. And she realized something. Sometimes the people we overlook carry the greatest light of all. She leaned toward Robert and whispered, "You saw what no one else could. You saved her." Robert's eyes glistened, and for the first time in years, his grief felt lighter. And Catherine understood. Sometimes miracles don't arrive in white coats or shining armor. Sometimes they come in worn boots, carrying a mop, with a heart still brave enough to believe in hope.